Welcome to My Business Matters, the Michigan Chamber podcast.
Hello, listeners. I'm Amanda Toy, the Vice President of Membership and Partnerships at the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, and I am delighted to introduce today's guest, Jane Hagan. Jane is the Senior VP, Trust Officer, and Director of Retirement Plans with TriStar Trust. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely. I am so excited to discuss something that every single person, no matter where they are at in age, demographic, walk of life, cares about, and that is 401k investments.
You are right on, Amanda.
Right. So that we can know who we're talking to today with the listeners, can you tell us, Jane, a little bit about yourself? I know I've had the pleasure of getting to know you over the last few years, your role at TriStar here in the Great Lakes Bay area in Michigan. And then how did you get in this line of work in the first place, Jane?
Well, that's easy. I have been with TriStar since day one, and we are in our 23rd year of business. Currently, I manage the retirement plans division at TriStar, which works with all of the corporate plans. And I have been working in corporate retirement plans for 27 years now. I absolutely love this business. You know, by educating to encourage and assist employees to achieve their financial security is just so rewarding to me. I wake up each day and say, hey, it's a new day. Let's go. Let's make a difference in someone else's life. And that's what I feel like we do every day as we educate our participants. You know, my message to participants is really one step at a time. So just get started in 1 year at a time and 1% of their pay increase per year, and they'll be on their way to a successful outcome. So, you know, my drive to just assist people in having a better financial future has really got me into this business about 27 years ago.
I was going to say 27 years, and you're so excited still. So you can tell that you're, you know, in the right seat and the right industry to be so excited to be able to serve individuals throughout the state of Michigan and helping them invest in their future. And you make it sound really easy. So I'm inspired.
I love it.
Good. So before we dig into some specific 401k questions and some policy that's popped up with the federal government over this past year, can we just do a quick state of the economy? So, you know, the market has been up and down. You know, everyone's talking at their dinner table about this insane inflation that is surrounding us, from the grocery store to everything else that the common Mary and Joe are buying. And I know it is a little bit unclear because some things are actually holding and some things are strong. So I'm a little confused. I think our listeners might be. So what insight do you have on the current state of the economy, and how does that kind of reflect in the markets regarding investors and 401ks?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we could talk all day about the economy and the markets, but we'll just hit on some high points. Actually, you know, there's a lot of positives out there to discuss when it comes to market conditions. You know, looking back to 2022, it was certainly a rough year for all of us with 401k balances in the stock and bond market because both ended negative for 2022. But currently, we're almost halfway through 2023, and that's kind of hard to believe. But we are, and the markets are rebounding nicely. You know, if we look at inflation, it's hit its peak in June of 2022, and that was at 9.1%. And we just received May's number, and that stood at 4%. So it's definitely going in the right direction. It's still higher than what the Federal Reserve would like to see, but, you know, so we may see another interest rate hike or two. We think that we'll start to see rates starting to go down mid-year next year in 2024. But the big question right now stands, will we go into a recession or will we have what we call a soft landing? You know, that's yet to be determined. If we do go into a recession, it will probably be short-lived in a mild recession. Overall, your 401k balance is looking better than this year, than last. And again, I always remind participants, this is a journey to retirement. It is not a sprint. So sit back and enjoy the journey, and sometimes just not tune out the noise of the news because, you know, that may encourage you to do things that you don't really want to do in the end. So overall, things I think are going in the right direction. Yes, there's certainly pockets of concern, but there's a lot more positive than negative out there.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is it's good to be educated on our investments, but don't hit the panic button if we're looking day to day and there's a big big downturn in the markets, and even if it is downturn for a week or a month, that this is clearly the long game here, wherever we are at in our careers, and you actually are seeing a little ray of sunshine coming through the clouds of how 2022 closed out.
Absolutely. Stay the course.
Stay the course. Okay. So regarding retirement savings today, I think that you've given a good summary on that. But when we're looking at the value of a retirement savings program, like a 401k specifically, can you tell us a little bit more about how important these tools are? We can speak to any generation here, but in particular, people coming into the workforce who, maybe they would be the first generation in their family for setting up a 401k through their employer, for example.
Exactly. We are seeing the savings rate across the country go up, but we still have a ways to go to get to that close to 10% annually is what employees should be saving, at least 10% annually. So I think we're headed in the right direction. And I think the younger workforce are the most excellent savers. And personally, I think the younger generation entering the workforce today has been educated early on to save because it was their parents that really relied on pension plans. So the 401k personally to me is the best benefit an employer can offer. I think some employers would argue with me and say it's healthcare coverage, but I think they go hand in hand as a must for companies to offer to employees. We all know how difficult it is to find top talent today for our organizations, so having a healthy 401k is essential. And what I mean by having a healthy 401k is that the company really offers a company contribution such as a matching program and has features that are attractive to these prospective employees, such as immediate enrollment, so they don't have to wait a year to go into the plan and so forth. We all need to be aware that next generation of employees, they are inquiring in depth about benefits before accepting a position today. When the younger generation is looking for employment today, they're looking at the total package, not just the salary that's being offered.
Absolutely. And I think it is a pretty keen workforce, the people in their 20s and 30s who are either job shifting or coming into the workforce right out of school, that it is the package deal. I mean, we're seeing that with all of our members from the Michigan Chamber when we have these workforce conversations from around the state. They want to see the menu, not just the dollar amount, more of a big picture. What is my experience going to be, and how are you investing me today, but also in my future? So that makes sense. Okay, so this may or may not be an interesting question, but it's something that we hear from our members all the time, Jane, and I'm really hoping you can touch on it. Secure 2.0. Now, talk about, we could spend a week talking about that. I'm sure you've read through that beautiful document, but I'm not going to bring it to my next Saturday night cocktail party. But can you give us a really high level key highlights? We have a lot of Michigan employers that are listening to this podcast right now, and frankly, just overall people that are in the workforce in Michigan. What are some of the key highlights that would be important to us to hear?
I agree, Amanda. Do not take it to your cocktail party. It has Secure 2.0. It has 92 new provisions. So we certainly can't talk about them all today. But I was really excited that Secure 2.0 was being passed because there's a lot of positive changes that are scheduled to be effective immediately or that go into effect in the next couple of years. For example, automatic enrollment will be a requirement for all new plans that start beginning 2023. That will greatly increase participation across the board. There's, I would say 50% of the plans today auto-enroll, but it's great to see that's going to be mandatory starting in 2023. Another provision would be that company contributions can be a Roth contribution if the employee chooses to be taxed now instead of in retirement. Now, this is something that each plan will need to be amended to allow, but it's definitely a positive for those in their younger years and just starting out to have that option because they're in a low tax bracket. They're not earning as much as they will earn later on in life, so why not pay the taxes today and let it all grow and take it out tax-free in retirement? Another provision for those older is the additional catch-up contributions that will be allowed if you're age 60 to 64 starting in 2025. And, this is really aiming to bump up those account balances for those that are really getting close to retirement. So they have just an extra little nudge there. But I would say one of the most biggest benefits out of the Secure 2.0 was for companies that don't offer a 401k today are the tax credits that they were offering for this program. Prior to Secure 2.0, there were credits available, but they were like kind of 50% of the startup costs and things like that. Now they have greatly increased those to 100% credit for startup costs, tax credits for adding auto and features to existing plans, offsetting administrative expenses. So the tax credit, there's also tax credits for matching contributions for an employer that's starting a new plan. If they do matches to the employee contributions, there will be tax credits for that. So I'm really pleased to see these new tax credits passed because it's very attractive now for a small company to consider a 401k. It's not going to take a lot out of their pocket to get it started in the first 3 to 5 years of them having the 401k.
So even the 4 provisions that you highlighted, I think ears probably perked up on that last one as far as tax credits for employers because, I would say about half of our members, Michigan businesses, have some sort of plan for their associates, no matter if they're small or large business, and about half don't. So one thing that I really find value in our working relationship, Jane, is the Michigan Chamber and TriStar working on the MyMap, so the Michigan Multiple Employer Plan, which really we have seen clearly that smaller employers appreciate it, not only because it reduces the cost for the employer to have a retirement savings plan option for their employees, but it also takes the risk away. Even just listening to you answering the question about Secure 2.0, I get so overwhelmed that it's good that we can lean on professionals like you who have been in the biz for almost 3 decades. But it's also good to know that now we can offer a relationship where it's okay to start up a new plan or to transfer over your plan to the MyMap to reduce risk and reduce costs. Can you just spend a few minutes sharing a little bit more? That's kind of the depth of it that I find the value in our members, but tell us a little bit more about your role with the MyMap and any advice that you might have for employers.
Absolutely. In 2020, TriStar had the wonderful opportunity to partner with the Michigan Chamber of Commerce to offer the MyMap. The MAP is really a multiple employer plan where many small companies come together and join and can have the same benefits of a large company's 401k plan. So many small companies do not have, like a large HR staff to handle their employee benefit offerings. So that's where between TriStar being the investment fiduciary, handling employee communications, being the liaison with Newport, who is the record keeper of the MAP, and Newport acts as the directed trustee and 316 administrator. So with that team together, we limit and insulate our plan sponsors from their fiduciary responsibilities and liabilities. It's a truly win-win for small business to join the MAP, which in turn assists them in attracting and retaining that staff. Because again, when you're looking at joining a new company, you want to make sure they have some type of retirement program. And retaining staff is a huge priority for companies today. Since we look at the plan as a whole, the costs are very affordable for small plans. We have many small plans that have an existing plan that have decided to join the MEP because prior, smaller plans were more expensive. And by joining the MEP, we have seen some plans reduce their costs by almost up to 40%.
So, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. How would an employer know if it's even worth looking into with TriStar, the MEP plans, you as the fiduciary? Like how do they know if they might even be a good fit? Is it the number of employees? Is it how many, is it if they already have some sort of plan? What are the criteria that they should be thinking about?
Well, we'd like to see like a minimum of 10 employees and all the way up to 150. And we're starting to have employers consider it after 150 employees too, just because of the costs it limits their liability, takes away some of their fiduciary liabilities. So it's really a great plan for a lot of, probably not the Fortune 500 companies, but a lot of small companies. So 10 employees to 150 employees, if they have an existing plan, we would love to do a cost analysis for them. We will show them where they're at today. We will show them their options, what they're paying for everything, and we will show them how the MEP works, how it operates, and how the cost would be within the MEP. We have not run into one situation information yet that we have not been able to save a small company some extra dollars in their 401k program by joining the MEP.
Well, not only is it about the dollars and reduce risk, but I'm going to do a little plug for Jane here. So we participate in the MEP at the Michigan Chamber, and her team come out and do an employee information session, and the approachability and customer service is absolutely out of this world. So I know that's not in the script conversation, Jane, but I highly recommend it to Michigan employers to be able to give TriStar a try because you really can trust them. And they're absolutely fantastic to work with. Jane is one of the most competent people I've ever met in my life. So I do appreciate you spending some time with us, giving all of us just that high level investment market research, but also a little more information on the MEP and the 401k. Jane, any last thoughts that you wanted to make sure that we were able to spend some time on today?
The only thing I would like to say, Amanda, is that we love to educate, and we do some very unique things with our participants on our employee meetings, as Amanda was alluding to, as we come out and meet with participants and do group educations. We just get great increases from participants, and we really see we're moving the needle when it comes to retirement savings by our hands-on approach and just showing that we care and want to meet with them individually and help them out. So, Amanda, I appreciate the time today. I appreciate the confidence and working with the Chamber. It's just been truly a pleasure of ours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, investing should be fun, right? I know there's a lot of paperwork that goes between the employer and you, but even getting through that and open, clear communication, and then making it fun for the employees, again, another great retention tool and recruitment tool too, when listing job descriptions. So nice meeting with you, Jane. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. And until next time, we will see you then, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.